Welcome to Housing Development, the authoritative source of housing information. The issue of housing deficit in Nigeria has continued to be debatable due to absence of available studies to back up various figures we hear of today. To address the inappropriate figures in the housing industry, quality data plays a vital role. The continuous use of 17 million housing deficits without adequate data backing it is worrisome. An effective and transparent housing market can only be achieved through proper and effective housing information, in particular, pertinent information on the socio-economic status of household is necessary in developing meaningful strategies to address the housing situation. The collection and dissemination of household data and information are imperative. We'll be looking into the importance of accurate housing data right after the trending news in the housing sector. I am Flora, your housing diva.
The Nasarawa FCT boundary road constructed by the Dunamis Church International has been unveiled. There was wide jubilation as the road, which spanned more than 4 kilometers and left in the state of disrepair, was constructed and unveiled for use. Speaking at the unveiling ceremony, the senior pastor of Dunamis Gospel Center, Dr. Paul Eneche, said the church decided to embark on the road project not to prove any points but as a development agent performing its corporate social responsibility. Pastor Eneche urged the road users, especially cyclists, riders, to use the road responsibly, promising that the church as an organization will not relent in its corporate social responsibility to the community. A former president of the African Union of Architects, Tokunbo Omishori, says with the increase in value-added tax, government should consider exempting locally produced building materials. Omishori said the recent VAT increase from 5% to 7.5% would worsen the real estate sector as it would impact on construction works. According to him, the increase might further raise the cost of real estate delivery, professional services, and building materials, and housing supply may in turn become unattractive and reduced. The United Nations Secretary General, Antonio Guterres, says urbanization is one of the mega trends that will help address global challenges and promote collaboration and cooperation between different stakeholders engaged in sustainable urbanization. The UN chief said this at the opening of the 10th session of the World Urban Forum currently taking place in Abu Dhabi. According to him, cities and towns were crucial to deliver sustainable development across the globe during the next decade, and stakeholders should brace up for new trends to come. Similarly, the largest housing event in Africa, Abuja International Housing Show, is currently participating at the 10th World Urban Forum holding in Abu Dhabi with the theme Cities of Opportunities, Connecting Culture and Innovation. Speaking from Abu Dhabi, the Chief Executive Officer of the International Housing and Construction Show Limited, organizing the Abuja International Housing Show, Festus Adebayo, stated that the need for the show to be at this year's World Urban Forum cannot be overemphasized. He said the show is scheduled to have meetings with various ministers of housing from African countries and other parts of the world. Adebayo added that meetings have been scheduled with several international organizations with the aim of fostering collaboration that will benefit the housing and construction industry in Africa and Nigeria in particular. On the foreign scene, UK Ministry of Housing has reviewed plans to give 30% discount to key workers in the new housing scheme. The key workers, including nurses, police and military personnel, will get priority under the new scheme, offering homes for first-time buyers at a 30% discount. UK Housing Secretary Robert Jean Riggs said the new First Home scheme, first announced during the election campaign, would save eligible buyers an average of approximately £100,000 on the first party, as the ministry, communities and local government is launching a consultation on how the scheme will work.
My name is Ken Diogundimu, the Managing Director of Nigeria Mortgage Refinance Company. This is a good program, housing development on AIT. Please keep watching.
For details of the news and more, you can visit www.africanhousingnews.com. Worried by the dearth of accurate data for necessary action plan in the housing sector, the Nigerian Mortgage Refinance Company PLC and Center for Affordable Housing Finance in Africa jointly organized a workshop on Nigeria's housing data. Watch this.
Accurate data gathering, processing and application has been identified as an essential and indispensable step towards addressing the various challenges facing the housing sector in Nigeria. This was the central idea at a strategic workshop on housing data jointly organized by the Nigerian Mortgage Refinance Company (NMRC) and the Center for Affordable Housing Finance in Africa (CAHF) on the 4th of February in Abuja. The workshop was held to find lasting solution to the worrisome issue of inaccurate housing data affecting the housing sector in the country. Various stakeholders and resource persons, both from within and outside Nigeria, underscored the need for adequate and reliable data as an integral aspect of solving problems, especially as it affects the housing sector in the country. While addressing stakeholders at the workshop, the Managing Director of NMRC, Mr. Kehinde Ogundimu, stated that countries that do not understand the importance of data management are less likely to survive in the modern economy, hence the urgent need for data collection.
Data helps us to understand customers' needs and to improve on the delivery process to meeting those needs so that we reduce wasted time and money. Especially for us in this industry, we don't have time. The housing deficit is enormous and we don't have money. So the little money that we have to use them wisely. And so we have to build what people will buy and what they will buy on time and what they can afford. And you cannot do that if you don't have the right data. You cannot make those informed decisions. Investors are also looking at that, because they're saying, what is my return? If I go into this, what is the payback period and things like that. You have to factor a lot of other things into consideration using data to come up with that. So the importance of data cannot be overemphasized.
Various stakeholders, resource persons and facilitators present at the workshop were also of the opinion that when the right data is made available to stakeholders in the value chain, a lot of progress would be made in the area of planning, decision-making and collaboration that will impact greatly on the housing sector.
The essence of this workshop is for us to understand the needs for housing in Nigeria, so housing markets, right from the land titling to the request from the people, the off-takers, to the construction itself, to the mortgages they're going to provide, then to the refinancing of the mortgages, and taking it to even the capital markets where we're going to get the money for supply of the houses. So we're talking about looking at the matching the supply and the demand for housing in Nigeria holistically. And that's what we're doing today.
Based on collecting data from various different sources, the figure we came up with was in the region of $27 billion, which is around about 6.4% of GDP in 2018. And what we found in doing this research is that there's a lot of current challenges in getting the data that we need in order to do this kind of research, to get to this, to quantify the value that housing is bringing to the Nigerian economy. And so today, this workshop's purpose is really to engage with the stakeholders that are holding this kind of data and to get to a kind of work plan about how we're going to go forward to make this data more freely available so that we can do this research more easily and as a result stimulate financing in affordable housing in Nigeria.
Today's workshop is really important for us because in order to address the policy changes that are needed across Africa, then those policy changes have to be made with logical decisions based on evidence, not on suspicion of what the facts will be. So in order to make policy changes, we have to collect data, we have to analyse that data and really focus on what needs to be done in the future. And only by collecting that data are we going to make informed decisions that are going to lead to those policy changes that change the market for affordable housing across Africa.
The workshop also served as a platform to foster partnership, collaboration and sensitize built industry professionals on the available data and resources that needed to be developed upon in actualizing the goals of affordable housing for all Nigerians and Africa at large.
Hi, I'm Bob Weinsheng, CEO of iBuild Global. Keep watching the Housing Development Program.
Quality data no doubt plays a vital role in providing reliable and valid information for property market performance. Right after the break, housing expert Ezekiel Ojo will be joining us on the program. Stay tuned.
Are you looking to purchase low-cost houses? Then grab this opportunity to become your own landlord. For as low as 1 million naira, you can own a studio flat, 1-bedroom terrace bungalow, 2-bedroom semi-detached bungalow, or even a 3-bedroom terrace bungalow in Nasarawa State, Ogun, Kano, Kaduna, and Delta State. Don't miss this opportunity. For more inquiries, call 0816-242-3553 or 0813-241-4810.
Before the short break, I did say a housing expert will be joining us on the program. With me in the studio is Ezekiel Ojo. He is a housing expert. Good to have you join me on the program.
Thank you.
Looking at housing affordability in Nigeria, how would you describe it?
Thank you very much. Housing affordability in Nigeria, I think we need to get some definitions right. That's the first port of call. We need to get the definition right. And what do you mean by housing affordability? The general concept is that any housing that is within 30% of the household income, that's the housing affordability. And when you talk of housing affordability, I think the mind of people normally goes to poverty housing. It is not like that. Housing affordability is more than that. It's what you can buy, what you can afford within 30% of your household income. And in this, the household income, we are talking of the combined household income. Then that's where the government intervention is necessary. Anywhere in the world, affordable housing for the low income, they are highly subsidized. Anywhere in the world. And they are not poverty housing that the trend in Nigeria, what I've seen in Nigeria here is that affordable housing are only seen in the bushes. Off from the main city. It's supposed not to be so. We are all citizens of Nigeria. The fact that you are privileged does not make you a better Nigerian than I do. So when you look at that, the intervention from government should include, things like land. The main component, land. Now, the regulation of that land itself. Then you go to the development control, the planning approval authority. And then you look at infrastructure.
For the past 5 years, the housing deficit has been pegged at 17 million due to the absence of accurate data. What is your take on this?
We don't have data. It's a pity we don't have data. Even for the economic policies, I don't know whether we have data. We don't have data. And you see, when I came in 2007, they were talking of a housing deficit of maybe 7 million. 2008, something that maybe just jumped straight to about 9 million. Then 2009, you're now hearing 12 million housing deficit. Every year I go to conference, is million added to it. One, we don't have data. We don't collect data. In developed countries, what they do, they build data right away from birth. Right away from birth, they build data from that point. As you are born in the hospital like this, the information goes everywhere, to the desert, to statistics, to everything. So they start building their data to know even the population, who is this, when are you even up to the age that you can own your own house. So our housing deficit should be spot on, be something that is realistic, and we know that it is there. If you say there is a deficit in Abuja, yes, why? Why is it deficit in Abuja? Yes, millions of people are coming to Abuja. They are migrating to the city. Then you go to Lagos, you go to all those city centers. If we can say, okay, now, if we map it out and say, these are the areas where we have these problems, then let's see how we can tackle it.
On a final note, what is the way forward?
I think my advice one is that the government should see this affordable housing, they should see it as a social housing. Social housing is a part of affordable housing. And that social housing is a welfare program. It's a welfare program that is to take care of the needs of the needy. And so government should be part of it, making land available for them, not only in the rural areas, even in the city center. They should do that and then provide infrastructure so that somebody, developer, can be able to build at an affordable price for the people we are talking about. So government should look at a model that can take care of the need of these needy people. They should see them as part of the society, and they should see them as the overall weight of Nigeria.
All right. Thank you for your time on the program, Ezekiel Ojo. Now I've been speaking with Ezekiel Ojo, a housing expert, on housing affordability and the way forward. Housing must remain affordable in order to meet the satisfaction of all households, particularly those with a core need. This is especially important since land and house prices, rent and construction costs have risen more rapidly than real incomes, thus reducing the housing options of low-income households. All right, moving on. Raphael is standing by for Voices on the Street. Hello, Raphael.
Thank you, Flora. Today on Voices on the Street, we will be knowing the opinion of people concerning the question, which would you tolerate within your residence, a religious center or a market? Come along, let's hear the Voices on the Streets.
Religious center.
I don't tolerate any of them.
Markets. Markets. Because I love food and I always love to want to go out, buy something, come back and prepare something, then go out again. I just love where I can get whatever I want to eat at that particular time. Go to the market, get it, and then come back.
Actually, both of them are very fine, but I prefer religious center. The reason is that everybody needs the word of God, and every environment needs moral conduct. So religious center can equally direct us on how to live our life.
I don't think I prefer both because I just like a very silent place, a very quiet place where you are not being disturbed with so many things, because I'm a kind of man that writes a lot. So if I'm writing, I don't want any disturbance.
I would prefer a market in my neighborhood because of the convenience. I don't want to have to drive far to go get food. And I mean, usually people go on the weekends to buy for a while, but some people like to just go and get fresh food every day. So I want to be able to just feel like, oh, I want Indomie, and walk down the street and get it and come back. For church, I feel travel, go far, go church, but I don't want to travel so far for food.
Market is a little bit preferable because the market has time of closure, they have time of resumption. Church, religious setting would have been better if the noise will be restricted. But if it's the microphone being exposed and all that, I don't think a lot of people will not tolerate it because it's going to cause a lot of, noise and all that.
And there you heard it. Different people with different opinions. Whether or not you will tolerate a religious center or a market within your residence totally depends on your level of tolerance and your preference. Now let's take you back to Flora in the studios. My name is Raphael Adewoye.
The latest couple in town.
Good day, sir.
How are you? Oh, sit down.
Thank you, sir.
Drinks?
No, we're fine, sir.
How was the moon experience?
It was quite an experience.
How about house?
We are renting at the moment, but we intend to save enough to own our own house, right?
Why not avoid all those Shylock landlords and own a house upfront? The average income and cost of building houses today in Nigeria, mortgage, is the best option. No sweat. I tell you what, that was how I got my first house, and I've never regretted it.
To make good homes, and by implication a good society, an individual is expected to have an abode from which to take off and return at the end of each day. At the Federal Mortgage Bank of Nigeria, everyone deserves a home. Come join us at FMBN and let's shelter Nigeria together.
Thanks, Raphael. Is definitely different strokes for different folks. All right, moving on. Running for over 14 years, the Abuja International Housing Show has proven itself as not just the biggest, but the best housing event in Africa, offering opportunities for people to own their own homes. The Abuja International Housing Show is the answer to global need for a platform where important stakeholders from all over the world can meet to deliberate on emerging and lingering housing and construction issues, prefer solutions, network, exhibit, and introduce latest innovation to the housing market through sales and promotion. Over 30 speakers from at least 15 countries will be speaking at this year's event. The speakers were drawn from reputable institutions like mortgage banks, real estate companies, housing regulatory agencies, construction companies, and housing finance will speak on this year's theme, which is Housing Finance Innovations for 2020 and Beyond, Sustainable Systems for Cities. Now, here are what you must know about Abuja International Housing Show, the largest housing expo in Africa.
Abuja International Housing Show brings an amazing opportunity to exhibit, network, develop new business relationships, and make sales. Here are things you must know about Abuja International Housing Show. The Abuja International Housing Show is Africa's biggest building and construction show, with more than 15,000 participants and over 400 exhibitors from 21 countries. Its large international participation provides excellent opportunities for global sharing of knowledge, expertise, products, and best practices. Abuja International Housing Show brings together industry leaders, investors, buyers, and entrepreneurs to develop markets and business partnerships. The event gives you access to leading-edge technical information, equipment exhibition, and valuable new professional contacts from around the world. It brings participants opportunity to introduce new products and meet the right buyers. The event has paraded the highest number of professionals and government functionaries, including the Vice President, Senate Presidents, State Governors, Ministers, members of the National Assembly, among others. The event creates opportunities for direct engagement with financiers, potential partners, and investors from outside Nigeria. Abuja International Housing Show, the largest housing expo in Africa.
For registration to be a part of Abuja International Housing Show, the largest housing event in Africa, visit www.ihsabuja.com or call 081 665 70090.
Abuja International Housing Show.
It's about the whole of Nigeria, whole of West Africa. You have stakeholders coming from all over and in fact globally.
It's an excellent way of bringing thought leaders, investors
to come together and figure out ways to increase capacity in developing housing.
so much I can bring on today because of time. Join me next week for another informative episode. Remember to subscribe to our YouTube page on Housing TV Africa to watch this program all over and previous editions. And do follow us on Facebook via Housing Development Program and on Twitter at Housing Program. I remain Flora, your Housing Diva.